Nomads just want to have fun. Well, if you're thinking about being a nomad, a traveler, a drifter, someone who is getting ready to live full time on the road with no home base, no property, no apartment, hit the road and begin new adventures. It's funny, I live full time out of my Jeep Renegade. I have for about 2.5 years. And there's a saying that's etched into the start button that says, to new adventures. You know, when I bought my Jeep Renegade, I bought it when I still owned a house. I owned a house for 15 years. And buying the Jeep Renegade was just part of my downsizing of my life, simplifying my car. And then it just started a series of decisions to make choices based on living a more simple, downsized life. And so I never thought of really the slogan that's on the Jeep Renegade start button that says to new adventures. I never thought that every day would be a new adventure, because when you live full time in your car, van, or even an RV, every day is an adventure, because every day has different routines, different stores, a different environment. Even if you visit the same areas, even if you stay at a campground for a couple of days, you're always on edge. Your mind is always working a little bit harder because you're a survivalist. You are basically every day trying to figure out what you need to do to survive. You don't have anything fixed or guaranteed. And for some people, they like that because it makes their brain work a little bit harder. It makes their juices flow. It makes their awareness and their senses have to really work hard, and that kind of keeps you alive. It keeps you conscious, right? Because in the conforming life of living in a house or an apartment, you become sedated. You wake up whenever you want because you're in a fixed, secure environment. You're not at a Walmart parking lot or a truck stop or a campground. Like, you know, you're waking up in your house, so you know what it is. You don't have to wake up at a certain time or do a certain thing, and you're just lollygagging. And then, you know, you're going to do what you normally do, either get coffee out of your drawer. You know, if you live in a house or an apartment, you have coffee in one cabinet it's always there. You have your coffee filters in another cabinet. You have your coffee machine plugged into the same outlet that has been plugged into for 10, 15 years. There's no adventure. There's the sedation. There's the monotony of the everyday life. And when you live in a house or an apartment, then you're going to go to, what's today? Sunday? So today we either go to church or we go to the supermarket to shop for groceries for the week. It's the same supermarket with the same people working in the supermarket with the same environment, and everything is the same. There's no newness. And when you have new surroundings, that's an adventure. Your mind is activated. Your creativity is activated. It's exciting to see new, but it's also challenging, and it also wears on you. And over a period of time living on the road, the adventure may turn into a nightmare. It may show you the value of stability, especially as you get older, especially if you have some physical or mental challenges. Because every day you're challenged living on the road. You're challenged, you have to deal with the public more. If you're a private person, if you have problems physically or mentally, you are out in the public more. You're dealing with different people. You have to adapt. You have to think a little bit sharper. That's adventurous, but that's challenging. There's a challenge to live full-time in your car, and that's kind of what makes it an adventure. But again, that drains more of you. That takes more of you. So in life, you have to realize there is a value to stability. Especially the more unstable you are physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, the more unstable you are, the more stability you need. That's why everything you have to kind of do in steps and prepare and plan. You know, certainly people like the idea of living in their car or van. They think they can live cheaper, and you may be able to, even though I think it's going to cost you more than you want. But you better have a budget. You better have a goal. You better be willing to work. You know, I've worked for 22 years straight. I've worked when I was in New Jersey sleeping in my car. I worked in Florida sleeping in the summer. You know, you can't get around work. And if you're on disability, Social Security, or if you are inherited money, God bless you. then all your energy is going to have to be spent into self-care. Not just adventure as far as like every day is wonderful. But there's, again, you go back to people get burnt out on life. You know, see how I just got serious and I talked about work and responsibility, and people, nomads specifically, they just want to have fun because they feel like they're caught in this every day. My coffee machine is in this outlet. My coffee filters are in that cabinet. I'm going to the store that I go to every Sunday, and they're bored with life, uninspired with life. And I understand that. And part of the reason to hit the road is to rejuvenate their soul. It's like being married. You get married long enough, you spend time with the same people long enough, and even if they're great people, you almost want something new. You crave it. Because dating is an adventure. But dating can also wear you out. That's maybe why you got married. You want some stability. And, you know, again, there's what you're doing when you decide to live as a nomad is you are going on an adventure. Because you are giving up some stability for a lot of possible excitement. It can turn into a nightmare if you don't plan, prepare, work, and research, and be willing to sacrifice. But it's also, on your adventure, it's also going to teach you the value of stability, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Because now when you basically seek on this journey of living full-time on the road, you have to institute some stability with structuring your day. Because an adventure with no structure is chaos. An adventure with no structure is chaos. And if you think you're living a chaotic life now, you shouldn't just jump in your car and hit the road. You should plan, prepare, have specific goals tied to your dream. Be flexible to change your goals. And enjoy the journey, right? You know, have fun. But let me tell you something. You're not going to have fun if you're not physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially in a good spot. And if you're trying to live in your car to repair those things, you better have a plan. I lost 200 pounds before I lived in my car. I built my career before I lived in my car. I cut off my friends before I lived in my car. I changed the core aspect, foundational things of my life before I lived in my car. Because your foundation of who you are and how you look at life, it doesn't change when you get into your car. It doesn't become this great adventure. You become homeless in a car, and you're not a nomad living an adventurous life. You're the same resentful, lazy, unstable person you were in an apartment, but now you live on the street. Everyone wants to have fun, and you should have fun. You should live a good, positive life as best you can. But even having fun, even having an adventure, it takes a little bit of a plan. It takes a little bit of work. And if you avoid that work, you're going to see how your adventure ends up not good. So give some thought to this. Give some reflection. And you make the decision, and you own the decision, whether it goes right or wrong. I pray for God's grace along the way. I like to see everyone do good. I don't get any pleasure in people doing bad, but I also don't need anyone in my life that brings me bad. Okay. You make that decision right there. The people in your life, do they support you, or do they always have a sarcastic comment? Anyone that gives me a sarcastic comment, I cut off. Why? I don't want that type of an adventure. I don't want that type of an adventure. I want the stability of positive people. Because I got to deal with enough a-holes in the world. So when I'm out in the world, in the public, in the workforce and different things, I'm willing to deal with those people. That's the variable. That's the excitement. But in my own personal, private time, when I'm around people and I'm sharing my life, I want them to be stable and supportive, to build me up so I can go out there and face the wolves. An adventurous life is a life of constant change, adapt, newness, that requires a level of stability. Self-inflicted stability, so that you can balance yourself. And whatever purpose you're deciding to be a nomad, you make traction on it, whether it's to pay off debt, whether it's to travel, whether it's to just live as free as possible or move states or whatever it is. You want to move forward in life. You fail, you fall, you get back up, but you overall want to keep moving. And by God's grace, move forward. And that's what I want to share with you in this video. Peace and love.